G'day and welcome to Aussie Vision. Today I am joined by the knight in shining armour for the United Kingdom at Eurovision 2022. He is known for his long mane of hair and his incredible voice. It's Sam Ryder. Welcome, Sam.
What's up, Dale? Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm so stoked to be here, man. So thank you.
Oh, no, thank you for your time. And we know you're a busy man. Now, firstly, Sam, it seems you got into a bit of a scuffle between yourself and a scooter in Madrid and you came off second best. How are you feeling? How's the leg?
Well, I was going to say, that's why I was like a couple of minutes late onto this Zoom link. I'm so sorry. I was like trying to get down the stairs as quickly, but also as safely as I could. So it's kind of like this, like propping myself against the walls and hopping. So it was totally pathetic looking and undignified, but we got there, Dale. We're here. But anyway, what happened right in Madrid? I was so when you get to a new place at the moment, I'm realizing that you barely get a chance to see it. You kind of fly in, you do your show, and then most of it's filled with press, it's all amazing stuff, but you don't really get, firstly, any fresh air, any sunshine, and I am desperate for some sunshine. You kind of just fly home. So I thought, why not hire one of those little electric scooters? I say hire, you just scan it with your phone and buzz around. And that was fun. Like I did it for a whole day. And then the next day I thought, that was so much fun, I'm going to do it again. And the one that I got turned out that it had no brakes, but I didn't realize until I was going down a hill and around a proper, just a 90-degree corner. So it's the worst time to figure out you've got no brakes, but it's terrifying. And then I went into a metal bollard.
Oh, I know, you poor thing. And so are you on the mend? When's the leg going to be okay? Is it going to be within a couple of weeks? Are you going to be okay for Turin?
I'm not going to lie, Dale. Last night I slept on the couch watching Bridgerton because it was easier. Than it was hurting so much I couldn't get up the stairs. But it is feeling a little bit better today, and it's good because I'm flying to Germany tonight, and I think it's a Ryanair flight. So if you can't stretch your leg out, they kind of like pack you in, don't they?
Oh, they do. Well, I hope it does. I hope it does get better. And look,
even Ryanair.
Yeah, we did see your explanation on your socials and the full story about it. And what I really loved is that positive spin you put on it, where you had that serendipitous moment of running into the doctor guy that you'd been speaking to the day before. And then you were talking about how beautiful life was. And this is all after bad injury. So my question is, have you always had this amazing sense of optimism in life? Or was this something that is
annoyingly happy? Like, I think, I just, I've always been that kind of annoying, smiley guy, I suppose. But I feel like it's obviously to do with my parents are amazing, probably raised in that way, always. And also that kind of British thing of like that stiff upper lip kind of, I don't know. It kind of feels weird to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Like it almost takes makes it a little bit crass in a way, but do you know what I mean by saying that? Like when you kind of, I feel like I'm bigging myself up and it feels uncomfortable, but I don't know, I'm just very grateful to and like feel like I can joke at myself or not take things too seriously, because I think that's really important to have with music, because you get beaten down so many times, and you only really get that moment where you get lifted up once and then it takes you to the next level. But before that, it's just an absolute cacophony of slamming doors, of unanswered emails, unanswered calls. So I think you have to just have that, like, oh, well, life's pretty good anyway. Like I've got a lovely family, a lovely like support system, a lovely partner. I live near the sea. Yeah, like there's so many blessings to enjoy without getting caught up in all of that. No.
Yeah, no, and look, it's a wonderful trait to have, and we're really enjoying it during this season, watching how positive you are and talking about it. I think with you're a little bit different, I think, in a lot of artists doing a lot of the promo and the stuff before Eurovision, that you almost have to do two fronts. You've got the international audience, that get to know you, but on the other side, you almost have to do the PR for Eurovision itself, because obviously a lot of people in the UK are still having some negative connotations with the contest. How has it been tackling both sides, the international and then back at home?
I think the UK, a lot of people here love it. All you needed to do was go to that Eurovision party in London at the Hard Rock at the beginning, and you see how passionate some of the fans are that are here, and they live and breathe it year round. Like, I thought I was a Eurovision fan, and I am. I watch it every year and get together with family and friends. We have a party and watch it, but that's one level of fandom in this thing, and I thought it was like the top level. It's absolutely not. It's like the bottom level. And you realize how passionate people are and how much they live and breathe it. And that was fantastic to see. And that's on the UK, like on UK soil. So I think there's a lot of people that feel like that. Of course, there's a lot of hurt. And sometimes I think it's just, when you're like in England and you're moaning about the weather to a stranger, it's just your sort of go-to. I don't think people actually really feel that way. It's hot air. It means nothing. It's not really, so it doesn't hold any weight. It's just a complaint to complain. And I don't think we actually mean that we dislike or have an avid kind of aversion to the whole thing. It's just we fill up like small talk with it every year. But I think we love it. We're just waiting for that moment, that light at the end of the tunnel. And one thing I can say about the UK is when we do see that little bit of like spark of faith or glint of hope, it's like the World Cup. Like, it comes alive. Everyone's like, hang on, no, whoa, we could actually do something here. And that doing something isn't necessarily winning. It's just having a bit of belief and then realizing, wow, this is so enjoyable. And life is like a short thing. And why not enjoy this little like mad annual event that goes on?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally see. I actually was lucky enough to live in the UK for a long time, and that kind of like negativity is the small talk, but then celebrating really big when the UK do really well at something, or just have a really nice sunny day. It's always grabbed with two hands, so it's always a wonderful thing to see. So I wanted to talk, everyone talks about obviously TikTok with you because it seems to go hand in hand in the description of this amazing success you've had in the last few years. But I wanted to go further back because it obviously wasn't just overnight. You spent many years with bands in different genres like The Morning After, Blessed by a Broken Heart, Close Your Eyes, where there was all these different styles, pop punk and metal and that kind of glam 80s side of things. What's that journey been like for you from back then to the artist you are now?
It's been a wild one because like The Morning After, it was just like me and my school friends, so it's like everyone has a band in school and it's cool that you know about it. That's just what it was. And then after that, I was kind of like a flea on a dog. I joined so many different bands, but like the two you mentioned, I was kind of in there for one album and then got kicked out or left because I was always replacing someone who was so popular with their fans. So it was always an uphill battle from the get-go, and again, like those, the no's and stuff like that coming back in. But that gives you a thick skin too. And it was amazing to have gotten the experience just on the road and, how to do those sorts of things. So it's been a long ride, and I'm so glad that I'm having my moment a little bit later because I got to basically make really bad music in private for a long time with a lot of bands that I don't think you know about, which is good.
Well, I did do just some digging, yeah, but look, there was a lot of good stuff in there as well. Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Look, onto your actual entry, Spaceman, which is an absolute crack of a song. It truly is one of my favorites this year, and it's so nice to hand on heart say that, but you're actually saying it to the artist, and it's actually true. Look, a lot of people have mentioned that there's a real kind of Britishness about the song. There's almost like this sort of throwback Britpop sound in parts of it, particularly that bridge into the last chorus.
Yeah, that's cool. You noticed that. That's wicked. No one's really picked up on, and for me, that was like, I wanted to like pay a lot of homage to like Oasis in that bridge, like even just the way I'm singing, gravity keeps pulling me down, like down. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of, it's just that little nod to like one of the greatest rock and roll bands of our generation, you know?
Yeah, and look, obviously it's nice to know that was something kind of put in, because I was going to say, is it a happy accident? But it sounds like it was something that you intentionally put in there.
Well, what it is, you kind of, when you're writing, I think if you ever intentionally put stuff in, you're in danger of ripping off someone. So it's never intentional. You hum along, and then you think to yourself, wow, that sounds like, that reminds me of so-and-so, or like that chord change reminds me of Billy Joel. How do I kind of take that to the bank? And do we choose to make a moment of it and sort of put a spotlight on it? Or do we not? And it can be as simple as literally the word down. And instead of singing it like, gravity keeps pulling me down, like you go down and really like whine it, kind of put that sort of that glassy tone on your voice behind it. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, that reminds me of Oasis.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have sort of picked it up, particularly in our team as well. But I think as few of us did grow up with Britpop in the 90s. So we're definitely a big fan. So also with the song, it was obviously over 3 minutes. It was good 3:37 or whatever it was. You had to chop a lot off that. What was that process like? Was it difficult? Was it like ripping up a piece of art?
There's this wicked line in if it was mentioning Billy Joel again, it's like he's got this line in the song called The Entertainer, and it goes, I'm the entertainer, and I bring to you my song. It basically took my whole life to write it, but it ran too long. It was a beautiful song, but it ran too long, so I cut it down to 3:05. Basically, I absolutely butchered that to any Billy Joel fans watching, but it's a long verse, and I was like, I'm not going to sing the whole verse. But it was that, like, you're struggling, like, okay, what bit do I take out so it's still a cohesive song? Like, you can't just take like a verse out because you miss the story. And then at the same time, you don't want to take like the catchy, like middle eight or post chorus out, because you lose just that sort of sing along ability, if that's a word. But yeah, it was tough. But get this, right? I'm flying to Germany tonight to play, I think on a TV show in Berlin tomorrow, and we've got to do a 1:30 version.
Oh my God.
I know. I was like, how do we do it? Like, it's literally going to be like the first verse, chorus, and then wave and walk away.
Oh, it'll still be great, nonetheless. A little bit of snippet there.
So it made me think, 3 minutes is a walk in the park now.
Oh, it still sounds good. Some could be really dogged when they get cut down, but no, it still sounds great. So obviously, talking about your entry a little bit more here, and I don't think you're going to answer me on this one, but I'm going to ask nonetheless. So we know you did some rehearsals in the famous Pineapple Studios, and some stuff's been moved by truck. Other than those clues, is there anything you can tell us about your stage, and even just a word or two to describe it?
It's a stage. That's what I'm going to
say. You have been very cagey. So that means it might be a bit big and out there?
I can't say. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a ruse and we're shipping clothes, or I don't know.
Oh, no, that's fine. I didn't expect to get anything else. Oh God, Kate Miller-Heidke was even more upcoming than you, but that's good. We're expecting a nice surprise from that one. Also, so talking about the big week of Turin, obviously there's all the rehearsals, there's all the promos. I'm sure you'll be doing lots of social stuff as well. And you've been doing it through this whole pre-party part. How do you make sure that you protect your greatest instrument, which is your voice? Because obviously there's a lot going on and you can't obviously strain that. What do you do as an artist to protect it?
Well, like to give you a little peek behind the curtain, pretty much every artist I spoke to behind backstage in Madrid, everyone was knackered. Everyone was running on 30% voice, basically. The schedule is brutal. And also it's not just the Eurovision schedule. It's like, I wanted to do as much as I possibly could in the lead up. I think I get one shot at representing the UK, and it's an absolute blessing. I'm so grateful to do it. And if I'm going to do it, I want to do it as properly as I can, because I think there's some responsibility there. It's not that I am putting all of my worth in the scoreboard at the end. It's just that I want the fans of Eurovision here to know that I've taken it as seriously as they would like to see their representative take it. I think it's like the right thing to do. But it's so hard on your voice because of the air conditioning alone on all of the flights, the sleep pattern. In Spain, they run everything so late. I was on stage at like 1 a.m. I'm like, what's going on? Like, you're literally meant to be in bed. Yeah, so it is really tough. I have a load of routines and things I've learned over the years that help me. And again, that's a real blessing of having played in bands and, like punk bands and heavy metal bands where you're fighting the drums like every night. So little tricks of the trade that you kind of, you learn, but really you can't beat sleep. And unfortunately, sleep is the most precious commodity on this schedule, because there's just no time for it. I mean, no time for decent sleep. You're up so early and you're to bed so late.
All right, we've just got a couple of minutes left, so I want to just jump into one here just about Australia, because obviously our Australian audience would be interested. Have you ever visited our shores here in Australia?
I have, yes. Oh. Yeah. I've visited a few times, actually. It's amazing. And yeah, my sister lives there.
Whereabouts?
In Sydney. My parents actually just come back from her wedding. I couldn't go because of Eurovision and everything like that. But yeah, I wish I could have been there. But I'll be as soon as.
She'll have to get up at 5 a.m. as well, like most Australians, to watch it.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? You guys are.
We talk about sleep. We don't sleep much.
The weekend.
It is a weekend, yeah. So it's not too bad. And my last question here is, now you've obviously done a couple of covers in your TikTok about some Australian artists, Elastic Hearts here. You did somebody that I used to know with Gotcha. If you had to do a cover of another Aussie artist or song, what would you choose?
Can I just choose Sia again? Because while we're on that topic, I can't go finish this interview. I think this is my first proper Australian interview, Dan. So thanks so much. But she is such a hero of mine. She's seems like such an amazing, powerful woman, and has this force inside of her, like her voice and her songwriting, and yeah. And she kind of helped kickstart this whole moment for me, because she was the first person to kind of publicly encourage and support me by sharing a cover I did of her one of her songs, Elastic Heart. And yeah, what a beautiful person. So if she sees or hears this, big up Sia. I'll never forget it, and hopefully we can do a song together one day. It'd be amazing.
Awesome. Well, look, thank you so much for joining us today. All the best in Turin. We hope you have the most amazing time. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Just go out and smash it. And you have so much support from us here at Aussie Vision and from Australia as well. Thanks so much, Sam.
Thank you, Dale. Big up to your listeners.
Yeah.